wrong one.
How's it? Welcome into another episode of Loose Cannons. It's not going to be a great show, but hopefully it's not going to be a fun show. It'll be a great show.
Speak for yourself.
Not going to be a fun show.
Again, speak for yourself.
I can't wait to get into this with you. I really cannot wait to get this. The utter toxic positivity that just oozes out of your body. Yeah. I'm kidding. It is. You are not.
I was going to say, you don't know any. You have a little behind the scenes that you guys don't even know how I feel about.
No, I don't. I truth be told, I have absolutely no idea.
You have a guess, but I don't think you.
This is exactly where we're going to start.
You know what it is, Ryan, is. So maybe you've done a really good job at not sharing your opinion in a positive way. So I wouldn't call you toxic positivity, but I will say that occasionally when Tanner and I are, let's just say our emotions ride high, you bat us down a lot. So the perception is you're like hunky dory, like, why are you guys fucking crying? Everything is great. And we're like, so we can't. Like,
but see, I don't say that though. But it's funny you say I bat you down. You guys bat me down by all your not you two, but like the people try to bat me down with their like, oh, the club at Arsenal FC is over. We're done. I mean, we'll get more into that. I'll let you finish. Sorry, go.
I know that's fantastic. That's great. I was loving that. No, you know what? It's kind of nice because I feel like you bring us back down, even in the moments of batting us, that you kind of reel it in a little bit. You're good at that.
Oh, so you're giving me a compliment. I thought Mike was attacking me. Oh fuck, my bad. My
no, Mike was attacking you. I'm not attacking.
Oh, okay.
Attack is a strong word.
I didn't know what see. He said batting down. You said reeling back. Like, I was like, oh, that sounds.
No, it's yeah. I mean,
attacking you is what I was doing off air prior to Tanner going live. That's what I was attacking you before air. So, right now, no, it's just a conversation.
What I want to know, and Ryan, I will start with you because I cannot wait to hear this. So we're 60 hours removed. I don't want to know how you felt after the match. I want to know 60 hours now, having 2 sleeps to digest everything, look at everything on the whole, the big picture, however you want to describe it. Where are you at in your headspace right now?
That's tough to answer only because there's so many different feelings about different players, different formations. So it's a very basic question that would take me probably days to answer. But I guess probably the best I can sum it up. I'm not happy. I know, like, because certain people are so unhappy that they don't want Arteta here. They think that the league's over, everything's done, Champions League's over, just end the season now, call it off, waving the white flag. Just because I'm not like that, that must mean, oh, he wants to give Arteta a 10-year extension. He thinks that we're going to win the league. He thinks we're going to win Champions League. He thinks nothing's wrong. No, that like and I'm not. I don't want to say what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say it.
No, say it. I let it know. Let it rip. Let's go.
It has nothing to do with no. It has nothing to do with Arsenal. So I'm not because. But I'm just going to say
because I don't ever go off script and talk about things.
Because I just the thing that I think infuriates me the most about this whole conversation about us, about the club, about Arteta, about the players, about just everything that encompasses Arsenal FC is if you're not on one side, you're on the other. No, that I think infuriates me with talking to people. Um, be, because I don't think the league is done. Oh well, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And like, and I'm not. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm not saying you guys are saying that, but it's just I. I mean, you guys can probably figure out what I was going to allude it to, but it's interesting how you almost need to pick a side in this in the club, and you have to either be Arteta in, be Arteta out. You have to think we're going to win the league and the Champions League, or think the season's over and end it now. It's like, no, there's a middle ground, and I don't like when people think middle ground. I'm like, dude, just it's either yes or no. But I don't. This isn't a yes or no conversation. This isn't a one side versus another. I mean, people turn it into that because that's how it is in everyday life.
Yeah.
That's that's not how I am. Am I upset? Am I angry? Yes, I am. But I try to add levity to it because we are again, and I feel my cringing right as I'm about to say this, but like, I mean, we're top of the league for a reason. We haven't lost a Champions League game for a reason. So, I mean, am I going to say we're going to win the league? No, just because one fact is true doesn't mean the results are going to come through. Doesn't mean we're going to do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not happy. Very annoyed because I think given the context of the situation that we are in before the Bournemouth game, it's probably our worst game of the season. And that's crazy because we created the most big chances out of any team that played over the weekend and today, including the Leeds Man U game.
I need to know where you're getting that stat from because
we created five.
Please tell me where you
Fought Mob. We created 5 big chances.
You need to do a little bit more investigating because there were no.
I will send you the picture. I will send you the screenshot.
That's
I generally don't know if we got that many shots on goal. Like
now,
I'm
okay, wait. All right,
shots
hold
on target
hold
is
on.
3.
The penalty counts, so that's 1. And I think 3 of them were set pieces. I think, but and that's not me trying to pump it up. I'm just saying, like, you look at that, and Mike has been one that's constantly said it, like, stats are very deceiving, and they are, because when you see that, like, oh, we created the most big chances the entire weekend, like, okay, it can't be that bad. No, we were pretty terrible. Like, it was pretty awful game to watch, and it's tough because, again, of context of where we are, where we need to be, and I'm not going to bring that up, but just the unfortunate teams that we've had to play, and it sucks because I can make a case why not a case, but the teams that we've played are on good runs. They're winning games. They're on unbeaten runs, but that doesn't matter. We should still be beating Southampton. We should still be comfortably beating Lisbon. We should be beating Bournemouth, who did the double against us last season. But yeah, so I'm in a weird place where I'm angry, I'm mad, but like I see other people like taking it to the extreme, and in my own way picking a side, and I'm just like I can't justify that. And it's funny, I think Elliot from Vision said it best. He kind of alluded to people being so nasty and being so against the club in a way, and being against the manager, and saying, you could say all you want, and it's just, it's a way that to protect yourself from what is going to happen. It may help you right now, but it's not going to protect you. It's still going to hurt. If we don't win the league, it's still going to hurt just as much. So if you're angry now and you're going to be like, oh, I told you so. Well, I told you we weren't going to win with this manager. I told you we weren't going to win. This team is so bad. See, we didn't win a single trophy. If it happens, if it's officially we are trophyless this season, it's still going to hurt. So, yeah, I don't know. So I'm hoping to find some common ground because I respect you guys' opinion. I've been doing shows with you guys for quite a while, so I'm hoping we could find common ground and see each other's point of view, but yet still like support the team at the end of the day, because I feel like that's why we're all here. That's why we're here right now. Like I'm still an Arsenal fan. Like it's to me the Bournemouth game didn't change that. I'd hope the same for you too. Yeah.
No, that's not going to change. Mike, where are you at emotionally?
Is it into your point, Ryan? Because a lot of the fandom that we live is through social media. I mean, is it possible to have these two thoughts and say, at the current rate that we're going, I don't believe we're going to win, but I also don't hate the club or the managers? Like, because you see somebody saying, "Holy shit, we play like shit." If I read that tweet, that doesn't read to me that the out for the sake of the conversation of the in and out. I also, similar to you, Ryan, I do I've always kind of tried my best to distance myself from the in and out thing, because it reminds me of like the really like my version of what I refer to as corny. The whole what was it? Arson knows best, and the other one was like whatever the fuck it was in the last few years for Arson. Like you were a AKB or some other
Yeah,
acronym.
or I mean the Wenger and Wenger out. Yeah.
And the whole time I was just a Theo Wilcott out, as you know. No,
Dude,
I digress.
I can't say that in public because my son's name is Theo, but yeah.
I do think there's an element to that where like I'm frustrated, but I'm not at the point in which I'm like, yeah, can him, because I'm kind of a big believer in which, like, as long as we're challenging, we're in it or around it, and the team hasn't like given up on the manager. I'm pro that. Like the last few games with Wenger, and I'm using it. We're going way back here, guys. We're reliving everything. Like those players looked like they had fucking given up, right? Like those players were like, holy shit, like Chamberlain at Anfield, remember that? I remember Bellerin getting like dog abuse versus like Palace or some shit because the poor bastard went over to grab the ball to do a throw in. But those players just seemingly, Alexis Sanchez is documented. I don't get that vibe with the club right now. But I was kind of trying to rationalize this earlier today, and I think for me, the reason it feels like we've regressed is because I generally think I've enjoyed about 3 to 4 games all fucking season. And I know that there's a segment of the fan base that will say, well, they don't have to entertain you. And I understand that, right? But I was like just going back and forth with somebody with like, we're talking about managers and philosophies in general. And I'm not saying pluck Cesc Fabregas and put him at Arsenal, we're going to win automatically. I'm not saying that. But for Como with Cesc Fabregas, I think they're about like 4 goals away from us playing this like beautiful transitional free-flowing football. And us, with the embarrassment of riches that we have, we play like shit, Ryan. I can't get away from that. You know, there was, and you know, I'm still baffled at the stat that you alluded to, because I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck that means. Because a simple Google search, we had 3 shots on target. City had 8 shots on target for Chelsea. So the math ain't mathing for me. Like if you're not creating an actual shot on target, I don't understand what the hell they mean by chance created, because like clearly on paper City created 5 more fucking chances than us because they actually challenged the keeper. We challenged the keeper 3 times. So just on the stat thing, I don't know where you got it. So I think what it was,
a shot on target and a chance created are 2 different things.
Yeah, but a shot on target does count as a chance created. So there.
No, according to the stats I'm reading, no, because then City would have 8 chances.
So
they
you
don't.
know,
that's why I think what you're looking at is wrong.
I don't want to.
I trust FotMob with my life, so I like to. Yeah.
So not to be a dick, Ryan, but this kind of reminds me of like the people that squinted really fucking hard to say Ozil was like still playing at his highest level, and they would start counting like pre-assist. For me, like stats, it gets to a point where like, come on, guy, you're counting pre-assist now in order to make this guy's numbers look better than what they really are. So I don't, you know, Hey, send me the link for later. We're not going to discuss it on air, but I do think that stat seems off to me. But what I was trying to say is, I
I
think
also don't. Real quick, I'm not saying that stat to justify how we played. I said in the beginning we were terrible. We played bad. But when you see a stat like that, I think to your point, I agree with you. I think people can take it away and be like, "Oh, like things are still good. Like we're gonna be like no, like that a stat like that. It whether it's real or not, it's not okay. Like we're not playing like a team that will win the league. But but it but you but I and again, and I'm not saying it's YouTube, but I see people and I've heard people tell me about the game, and I'm like, oh, do we lose like 5-0? And do we not even touch the ball in the opponent's 18? Like, is it that bad? Like, okay, it's not that bad, but is it up to our standards? No, it is not up to standards. It's not up to at least my standards as far as the club that I love winning a trophy, a big trophy. I mean, you could even include the other two. It doesn't matter because we're not going to win that. But yeah, I'm not trying to use it as a tool to say we played well. We definitely didn't.
I'm glad that you said that, because like I don't think like we should be pinned in our own half by Bournemouth for you to say that we did bad. But it's funny. I just remember that I had saved this one stat prior to you dropping the one that you said, right? And it's from James Benj, who works for Okta in CBS, and he says Arsenal averages a 1.4 open play XG per 90 this season, when Martinelli and Gyökeres share the pitch together. That number drops to 0.29 when it's Madueke in there too. Again, so what I'm trying to rationalize here, and this is where I'm having a tough time. I'm going to say enjoying. And again, I'm opening that can of worms in which anybody could look at me and say, Mike, you're being entitled. You support the club, support them through thick and thin, and I do. And like this whole thing where people has turned it into, if you criticize them, they're like, just show up and support. Like I'm tired of Mikel Arteta telling me to support the team. I'm tired of supporters telling me to support the team. Players doing interviews. Oh my God, show up and support us. Motherfucker, do something. It's that meme with the stick.
Yes, Nick.
That just popped into my head. You said that.
So what I was circling around to is like the last 2-3 seasons. I remember there was a lot of fun, memorable games where I was like, "Holy shit, this team is it's fun to fucking watch." And we finished, second place, all things, same as we're gonna potentially finish this season. But this season has been like the biggest dry hump of a season in which it's just boring, dude. And like literally, if it wasn't Arsenal, there was a shitload of games in which like I can't fucking watch this, and I'm trying to rationalize it. And even if we finish second place, I'm like, it feels like a regression to me, and that sucks. And if we win, and this is how results driven thing, I think is if we win, it's gonna be like there's going to be a segment, not me. I'm going to celebrate this shit no matter fucking what. But there's going to be a segment of like, oh my God, we crawled there. We barely, but it's going to leave so much question marks that I believe that a portion of the fan base still going to be like, we might want to change things up if we're going to play shit football like that. I think at least it opens up the conversation. So that's more or less where I'm at. I told you guys I don't necessarily identify myself one way or another. I'm just giving you the vibes and how I'm feeling about the club as a whole right now.
So it just, for me, it goes back to, look, I've been saying this for a while now, that we're here not to talk about the result per se. We're here to talk about the context in which that result occurred. Because if all we're here to do is talk about the result, then it's, hey, Arsenal lost to Bournemouth 2-1 on Saturday. All right, guys, that's the show. We'll see you next time, and off we go. That's it. If that's all that there is, and that's fine. There are people out there, like, if we are going to do what it is we're doing right now, we have to look at the context. And for me, I'm looking at the context, and this context goes back, Ryan. You have heard me say this for years when it comes to the attack, that there is no plan B. And I think now a lot of people are starting to see now after this that there was just a look of utter despair in the players' faces. Mike, you said, I think you said it, that you don't think that he has lost the room yet. I think it's teetering on a knife edge. Seeing their faces walking off the pitch on Saturday. Declan Rice not even applauding the fans and just leaving. Urian Timber and Calafiori were seen standing basically right outside the tunnel and then turning around and just walking right back down it. Not just a look of utter defeat on everybody's face. And now we get this Zubamendi needing to be consoled by his teammates on the pitch. And the rumor there is because he doesn't understand his role in the team. And how on earth can a player that cost you what he cost in the summer and be the midfield metronome, the guy that's gonna set the pace, set the tempo for us, and he's gonna do this and do that. He's the missing piece. He's all this and that. To be in the middle of April and not know what his role in this team is, not understand what it is he's supposed to do.
Where did you hear that rumor?
It's everywhere. I mean, I've done nothing but it's.
I'm not saying
nobody was on.
I don't think
nobody was on the
you.
field. I would no. I will say this: that take it with a pinch of salt because nobody was on the field, right? Nobody. I mean, we've seen the video of him being consoled on the field.
I saw
that we've seen, but we don't know what the conversation was. But the rumors that I'm seeing, that I'm hearing, is he's needing to be consoled because that was right after he tried to make a pass to Ben White. And the ball Ben White wasn't moving to the ball. So it's like Zubamendi has this idea in his head, this is where I'm going, but Ben White doesn't go. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I give up. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be doing here. And so that's where I'm kind of drawing. I'm connecting to that rumor via the context under which he's being consoled on the pitch. And then I see here again, the looks on the players' faces as they're walking off the field. I mean, it is pure and utter dejection. And it's one thing, you lose a game, okay? And yeah, you're bummed out, you're disappointed. But if you lose the game and you gave the effort and you got beat by a better team or it just wasn't your day, I get it. I get it. I watch enough sports that I see that, especially in this sport and hockey, because I do compare the two. Sometimes it's just every shot you take seems to get blocked, seems to hit a bar or a post, or goes just wide and you're missing by inches and it's just not your day. It's just that happens. This just wasn't our day on Saturday. This Saturday, I think, was the culmination of an entire season where this team has looked void of ideas in terms of how to score. And to compound our inability to score goals, and we're the second highest scoring team in the Premier League. So I know that's going to be it, but, no buts. We're also not as good as we've been defensively in years past. We are getting opened up at the back. We are being run through at the back. And when you're not scoring and now you're conceding at a rate that you haven't in a few seasons, now it just starts to pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on, and it snowballs. And as far as the Arteta in, Arteta out thing goes, look, this will be, if it happens, 4 seasons in a row of being runners-up. 2 of those 4 seasons, we had it in our control and we bottled it. So all of this shit that that fans of other teams are going to give us, we deserve it. We deserve it because it's what we've done. It right now, to a degree, is who we are. And I have so many thoughts running through my head. And I don't want to continue on tangents and rants and monologues. I obviously want you guys to be involved in this. I just, there's so much going on up here that I want to say and that I want to talk about. It, you know, part of it is tactics, part of it is mentality, part of it is expectation. And I just, where I'm at right now is hurt, not hurt. I'm not hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm not hurt. I'm disappointed that a team that appears to be on paper so good, and this is what we are. We're a team that can't score. We're a team that needs a set piece. We're a team that needs a penalty. We're a team that needs the other team to score for us. Like, those things happen. And yes, Ryan, and I only say this because you've said it, like, they all count the same, and they do. And I get that. But you still have to be able to create from open play. And this is the disheartening thing of all of this to me, is that with 6 games left in the Premier League season, I have 8 months, 6 months, 8 months of results and past context of this season to look at the last 6 games and say, I don't think they can get there. I do not think they can get there. There is nothing in this team that says to me they will get this over the line. And if they do, they're going to do it crawling. And they're not going to win the league on their own merit. They'll win it because City lost it. Because now City have all of the momentum. Laugh all you want. Do we have any money? This is what drives me nuts.
City are gonna lose it, and I hate because Mike, you even said this to me, and I agree with you. I don't like when people say, "Oh, we're 9 points clear." No, we're not 9 points clear. They have a game in hand, whatever, blah blah blah. It's like 6 or 3 now. Yeah, thank you.
We're 6
but
clear.
to say City are gonna lose the league when they are not in first place is just a wrong statement. You can't say that we're going to lose. If we lose the league, we're going to lose it, not City. You can't say City are going to lose the league if we win the league coming into the season, because they were never. We are in first, so they can't lose it. We are going to lose it if anything. So that's, I just don't. That statement didn't make sense.
I get where you're coming from, but I legitimately believe that if City don't win this league, it will not be because we won our last 6 games and we won out. It will be because they dropped points and they couldn't take advantage of our poor form. That's why I say that if they don't win it, because right now, gun to my head, and God bless everybody that's positive and thinks that we can still do it, I don't. And I just told you why. And if you debate it, change my mind. Tell me why this team, why you have any faith in this team to go to City and get a result. I don't have faith that this team is going to beat Sporting on Wednesday at home.
I find that like an interesting conversation in the sense that I think they were having a discussion on. I saw this discussion online where they're saying who's the pressures on, and some people were saying there's no pressure on City whatsoever because they've won it, and all the pressure's on Arsenal because they haven't won it. So I'm a big believer at the culmination of 38 games. Whoever has the most points deserves to win it, and it's because I guess I say that, BG, because if they lose two games out of the next 6, right, or 7 that they have, they lost 2 games. They fucked up equally like we fucked up, I guess, is my point of view. So I don't necessarily view it like they lost it to Ryan's point, because they're not in first place. I do think, and this isn't shocking to anybody, there is like a double standard on how media covers us and covers other teams, because like I was just thinking about this just the other day, where like when we got knocked out we lost a League Cup, there was like this graph, which is Sky Sport, which was quickly becoming a fucking clown show of a fan cam fucking network. But this whole graph of like the quadruple, and they had like one, like a dash on the League Cup, like, oh, they can't win that anymore, there goes their quadruple. That's the same fucking week City got their ass beat by Real Madrid. They were also in for a quadruple for like 1 week prior to us. They lost out on their quadruple. And they have all the history of the allegations of 115 breaking financial doping stuff right there. They have all the history of consistently winning. They are always favored in every fucking tournament they go in, damn near. And yet the whole conversation is like, oh my god, Arsenal is so shit. I can't believe they can't beat this team. We can't beat the one of the most expensive squads ever put together. One of the first or second highest wage squad in all of Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Like this whole idea where like you lost the League Cup, you are so shit. Meanwhile, Real Madrid is getting slapped around by Bayern Munich, and they slapped around City, and everybody's like, "Well, LOL, they're just having a down season." And I don't understand how we got to the point in which our expectations of this league, according to media, is higher than that of City. And City has been like the gold fucking standard for the league for the last decade. Like everybody talks about the quote rivalry between City and Liverpool. It wasn't a rivalry. If you think about it, Liverpool got their ass beat over and over and over, 1-1, and then they just continue to get their ass beat. Like I don't necessarily saw that at this like it's no United and Arsenal going back and forth for a few championships in the early 2000s, late 90s, right? It wasn't parity like that. It was just one team just absolutely demolishing the rest of the league. So this whole idea, like, it's so crazy. Again, like I just go back on this is like, I think a lot of it of us saying our expectation was and how we found ourselves of being favorites, so to say, by a lot of people was because of how we were playing football. I truly believe that. And how we played football the last 2 to 3 seasons, I feel like I'm supporting a different club. I feel like if we would have had this season last season, nobody would have started this season and said, well, Arsenal are definitely looking like fucking contenders. I think they would have finished last season say, holy shit, we played like garbage the entire season. He can't register more than 4 or 5 shots on target. I really don't think. I think the line would be more of a, if he continues to play like this, he'll be lucky to be in the top 4. But because we played fairly nice football last season, and then we added some new shiny impressive toys, it turned into they're clear favorites. And here we are, still statistically speaking, still favorites. But like anemically, I think that's the word I'm looking for. Like the vibe check, like if anybody, and this is why Tanner, I was telling you this past weekend when you were like, this is why I'm at that out. I literally don't have a defense. Like Ryan might have a little bit more energy to debate you on it, but I'm kind of like, I like the manager. I do think he could improve the players. There's a shitload of players that I absolutely love in the club, but I watch our football club and I go, man, this is hurting my eyes. And it's just a completely different vibe. And again, I say all of this at the risk of sounding entitled, because I'm
no, there's no risk. You're already there, buddy.
Yeah. Like I said, and luckily for me, the live chat, right? They all know me for the most, so they kind of know my background and like they kind of know the vibe that I normally go for. So I'm not coming off like, I'm not looking to get like clipped here and be like, oh my god, we're so shit type of thing, right? So I think I got the benefit of the doubt by the live chat because of that. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's just the vibes aren't there. I don't know. It's such a particular place to be as a fan where you're in like a small percentage of teams in which they're challenging, a small percentage of teams that haven't lost a whole lot of games this season, and yet just because of the eye test, you're still kind of like, I kind of think we're a shit team that's going to lose the league. It's such a interesting place to be in. That's That's where I'm at, man. It's like I don't, limbs if we win it, end of the fucking world if we don't. Like how many clubs,
I could make a compelling argument in the Arteta in, Arteta out thing both ways. I think I can make a very compelling argument for both. For me, I fall into the camp of out because this is it isn't the lack of trophies. It's the context again in which this season in particular, have gone. And Ryan, how many times have I brought up the horseshoe of death? We've talked about it ad nauseum in these shows over the years, where we're too slow, we're too methodical, we're too choreographed. He's too controlling. That's another thing now that's starting to come out, is like all of a sudden now people are starting to see this overly controlling nature of Arteta, where he's just constantly barking on the touchline, and like back to the players being just looking dejected. It's like, if all you're hearing from him on the touchline, he just continues to bark instruction at you. And it's like, I don't know this. I would think that these guys are getting to a point where it's like, shut the fuck up. It's not fucking working. Give me something else. Put a little bit of that on the players. They're talented. They're some of the most talented footballers in the world. They're in the top 1% of soccer players in the world, right? So figure it out on your own, maybe. But there's a block there. And it's like, it's almost like, if I don't do what it is he's telling me to do, I'm not going to play. Or he's going to take away my car keys. He's going to ground me for 2 weeks, and I'm not going to have my PlayStation, and I'm not going to be able to go to the clubs, and I'm not going to be able to do this or I don't know. But Ryan, jump in here at any point, man, because I can usually organize my thoughts pretty well. My thoughts are so jumbled right now. And there's just so much going on up here that I want to get off my chest, that if you don't jump in here, I'm going to keep going. So please.
Well, really quick, just wanted to kind of counterpoint you. This is our best, as far as goals conceded, this is our best season in the last 4 years. Obviously, the season's not over yet, so that could change. We are currently conceding 0.75 goals a season. This season we're conceding 0.75
per game.
Per game, yeah.
Per game, yeah.
20. Last season we were at 0.89. The season
0.75 goals for the season would be damn impressive.
Yeah. We were 0.89 last season. We were 0.76 2 seasons before. And then the season before that, we were 1.13. So to say we're being open up defensively, I don't really agree with. I think to an extent, this isn't really going to make too much sense. I think I sort of agree with what you're saying in the fact that I think teams are getting into our box more. But I think we're also minimizing our mistakes. Not to say we're not making mistakes. We are making mistakes. That's here or there. But no, I just wanted to say that, because defensively, I think we're still solid. And I think we're leaning on that, because I think our recruitment in the attack has been very poor. As someone who is a big Madueke fan, and I still am, I still think he's a good signing. But we cannot.
Boy, you don't give a shit about effort, do you?
I'm not done. I'm not done. He's a great signing for us, but he can't be the center of attention. He can't be Saka. And I said that when we were signing him, I was like, I don't want him to take Saka's place. He can't take Saka's place. He's not that good. And yeah, he had a very bad game against Bournemouth. No effort. You could kind of tell from minute one he wasn't really into the game. Don't really know why, but honestly, don't really care, because we're trying to win something. So that was very disheartening. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of.
You've never coached anything, have you?
Yeah,
you have.
I've coached. Yeah, I've coached soccer teams.
So if you had a player do what he did, leading up to their first goal, and you just said from minute one he seemed like he wasn't really with it, you'd let that person continue to play?
Well, I mean,
you don't care that the effort isn't there?
I've never coached soccer where like the teams I've coached, it's continuous subbing. So like I could pull him off for 5 minutes and put him back on. But so like that's tough. But I mean, if I was in Arteta's shoes, I would have a nice stern talk with him at halftime because you can't really at that point. It's like tough, but you can't waste a sub at what minute 20. Like I'm gonna have to have a talk with him at halftime. Like it's I don't know. It's also tough because he's also got to worry about 10 other players on the pitch. So, but I was gonna say something else too, but I got kind of sidetracked with the mind booking thing. But no, I mean, I guess I will because I'm jumbled up and I feel like I have a lot to say. I have a question for well, not really for you, Mike, because you're not Arteta out anymore, I guess. But for you, Tanner, if we don't win a trophy, if we win a trophy, you still want him gone at the end of the season?
I need to be nuanced when I say this. I think that I to not sound crazy, I have to say if he wins a trophy, then no. But I think that if we win a trophy at this point, it will almost be despite him. And this is one of the things that I've kind of had in my head, and I wrote it down, and I was going to say it. And I guess this is as good a time to say it. I've said it before, but I think in every sport, every coach has a shelf life. Every coach, every manager has a sell-by date. Yeah. I think Arteta is reaching his, and I do think that you can win a trophy and still be beyond your sell-by date, and the trophy basically gives you now you've moved from being on the main shelf in the store to being put on the shelf of these items have to go, but they're still good enough to be purchased. If this is making sense, it's like the example I was going to give, and apologies, like you probably won't understand. You'll understand.
Seeing where Tottenham is right now, I don't agree with that. I think Tottenham is a bad football team. I said I disagree with Ange Postecoglou because look at them now. They're going to get relegated. So
I just
they were probably better with him.
I just meant that because he won the Conference League, it masked over the fact that they finished 17 that season.
They were 17, right?
Yeah, so they won the Conference League, and he continued. But everything indicated you might have.
No, they fired him.
No, didn't he go into the season?
No, they sacked him.
I stand corrected.
I think didn't he start the season? I'm pretty sure he started the season. Then they sacked him. I think you're both right. Anyway, the example I was going to give, and forgive me those who don't follow hockey, but Ryan, you'll at the very least be able to relate to this. When the Penguins won the Stanley Cup in back-to-back years, Mike Sullivan, great job, whole 9 yards, awesome. But Mike Sullivan reached his sell-by date probably 2 years after they won the second of the back-to-back cups. But the team kept him around because it's like that buys you a little bit of leniency. He wins a trophy this year. That being said, I mean it's probably not the greatest example because I do believe that if he wins a trophy this year, it will be in spite of him, not because of him. But I look at it, everything is on the whole, and it's like, well, he hasn't developed an attack in 6 years. He has no plan B. His attacking philosophy is build down the wings, cross into the box, and hope. Hope isn't a tactic. Somebody debate me if you think I'm wrong, but that's what I see week in, week out from this team, and it's what I've seen for the last 3 or 4 seasons with this team in terms of attack. So that's part of it. To be as close as we've been in the last 3 years, that if we don't get it over the line this year, then it's like here I go. I'm going to make the case to be Arteta in. Everything he's done to this point to change the culture around the club, to build the club, to bring in the talent that he has brought in, to develop the defense that he has developed, and a system of building out from the back and dominating possession. All of those things lend themselves to saying he deserves more time. But after last summer and all of the money spent, for me to say we needed to raise the floor, right? That's Ryan, that's what we agreed on last summer with transfers, was we need to now we've raised the ceiling. Now we need to raise the floor. That was the Nani Madueke signing. Nani Madueke was raising the floor. Nani Madueke wasn't raising the ceiling. He was raising the floor. That's what he was brought in here to do. Christian Norgard was brought in to raise the floor. Not to raise the ceiling, to raise the floor. All of the money spent, and you still can't figure out the attack. And everybody last summer, we need a number 9. We need a number 9. We need a number 9. We go and we get the number 9. What good did it do us?
But you kind of answer your own question. You answer your own question. Like you talked about, we brought signs in to raise the floor. That's not what we needed. We needed someone to raise the ceiling. We needed, and then we talk about, we need number 9. I've always said
that was Zubamendi. Zubamendi was the signing to raise the ceiling.
But he's not an attacker.
Jokeresh was brought in to raise the ceiling. That was those two players last summer were the players that were brought in to be like, these two guys are the difference makers. We've been screaming for a number 9 for years after Aubameyang left. We've been screaming for the number 9.
I did not want a number 9. I wanted goals, but yeah.
And I agree wholeheartedly with you. That goes back more into tactics. He's not a guy. Arteta is not. His attacking philosophy is not get the ball to him. He's the guy that's going to score. It's a collective effort. It is goal scoring by committee. That's what he wants. That's fine. I'm perfectly content with that, because quite frankly, there is not another Erling Haaland in the world. There just isn't. He is the one player that I genuinely believe has the ability to grab a game by the scruff of the neck and turn it on its head. Kylian Mbappe isn't doing that. Erling Haaland is the one player, in my opinion, in the world that, in terms of attack, that can take the ball, shrug you off, dribble it 1,500 yards. He can run. But that's not what he does, though. Back again. I know it's not what he does.
I agree with what you're saying.
He also pretty much doesn't really ever have to.
No, that's my point. And I agree. I disagree, and I agree with you, because I don't think he grabs a game by the scruff of the neck.
He doesn't have to.
That. But I agree with. I think he's the only player in the world where it's like, okay, we need a goal. Like, we could just find Erling Haaland and he'll figure it out, because he's big, he's imposing, he's physical. He can. You need you could find him, and it's like, all right, I'll push 2-3 defenders, no problem. I'll figure it out. Just get me the ball.
And so with that player, with no other player in the world really being what Erling Haaland is, being able to do what it is he does. And the way that we play, the goals by committee thing is smart. Really, when you think about it, if you've got the talent on the wings, and if you've got a talented midfield, and you can supplement them with what? We don't have talent on the wings?
I don't think so. To have a goal to win the Premier, then that's kind of what I was going to bring up. I agree with you. I love the idea. I think that's what we should do. That's why I wasn't too enthusiastic about Catharsis. I guess I was enthusiastic because I saw the numbers. 50 goals in 50 games, whatever those numbers were. I was like, okay, goal. He's got to bring goals, right? Because he scored so many last season. But yeah, obviously there's a system, so I wasn't too thrilled in that regard. But no, I don't. I think so. It's interesting, right? So you break down Saka, right? Saka, obviously, I think we can agree, is not having the season we want him to have. He's hurt. He hasn't played in a few games. But after seeing like that Nani performance against Bournemouth, you're like, okay, like we need Saka back, even if he's at like 70 and playing at his current like form. Like we need him back, because I don't want to say Nani shrinks in the spotlight, but and again, it's funny how people talk about how Arteta, horseshoe death, and like we're boring. Eze and Madueke are not boring players, and they're very chaos in their own degree. but Noni shrunk, and he couldn't be chaotic. He couldn't be himself. Obviously, didn't really show a lot of effort, and and that's what we do. We like to favor the right. We can't do that. So okay, let's go to the left. Martinelli not in form. Trossard, he had a couple a run of good games this season. Like I think in the beginning or beginning-ish of the season, he is. I've been saying this for seasons. Trossard I don't think is good enough to start on this team. He's a super sub, but he's just not good enough. We need an elite left winger. And I said this when we signed Semenyo. I said if we lose the league, it's going to be because it's the Semenyo signing. I think that was so detrimental to us, and it really really boosted City. But yeah, I mean, I think we did I think we did a really good job raising the floor in the summer. Problem is, I'm guilty of this too. I didn't see this. I think we need to do a better job at raising the ceiling, and I don't think Gilchrist raised the ceiling. I know people thought he was supposed to, but I don't think he did. But even if he did just a smidge, we need a winger that's raised. We need a left winger to raise the ceiling because I think people were nailing their masses to Martinelli. I know a lot of people that didn't like Martinelli the last couple seasons. But like, you know what? No. He's gonna come good. He's gonna come good. He's gonna come good. And then there's people that are lean the other way to Trossard. Well, Trossard's been such a clutch player for us. He scored a lot of important goals for us the last few seasons. He's that guy that's gonna take the game by off the neck. But he's kind of fell short. And people, I don't want to say people were kind of stuck in these two camps, but people really wanted to believe in one or both players, so they didn't really see the need to bring in someone to replace it to. And that was something I was someone who's like, we need someone better. We need someone better. I thought Noni might have been the answer. Arteta doesn't like him there. And I think he's better than both of them as a left winger, but I don't think he's enough to raise the ceiling. Maybe Eze. I thought maybe, okay, we're second shot. We're gonna bring Eze in. He played one game, and he lost Matty Cash against Villa, and I don't think we saw him since at left wing. So that and Eze is another person I think will be interesting to talk about with the whole Zubimendi and potentially Zubimendi coming out of the team. But yeah, I just think attacking wise, we did a good job at recruiting to raise the floor. But if we want to beat a team that, and this isn't me making an excuse, but it's to show how much money they put in this club. We're gonna beat a team that just spends at will and breaks all the rules and does whatever they want. We need to raise the ceiling. We need to be better because we thought we were better, but really we improved depth. We improved the fact that, okay, cool, now we can get more people hurt, because that's what happened. I think our injury record is worse this season than last season. And again, not an excuse. I think it's just a fact. And I think having the depth we have made it, in a way, better in the fact that we have more players, but also worse in the fact that we had more injuries.
Mike, you're up.
Just because you brought up the point of a left winger, and then you brought up a few of our more forward-thinking players. I read this for years now. I've said prime Messi wouldn't play under Arteta because he doesn't track back enough. And I understand that that's hyperbolic, right? But Eze was generally a joy to watch for a very long time at Crystal Palace. He had one game at left wing where he got like roasted by Matty Cash, and then he just disappeared for several months. Bukayo Saka is still kind of performing in England, if I'm not mistaken, but he comes to the Arsenal. Like I made this comment, a little tongue in cheek, but I made the comment that made me dislike Saka because he plays right back a lot of the time. So we were discussing left wings in this conversation, Ryan, and you could be either here or there with Victor Gyökeres. He scored a lot of goals. He's one of the top scorers, or the top scorer for the league for us. But this one, I'm putting it down to system and management, Ryan. I don't think that we don't have shiny toys. I think the manner in which we're played and deployed isn't that of of a free like Cherokee is the guy from City.
Turkey.
He's
Yeah.
kind of allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants in attack. If he was with Arsenal and he wasn't tracking back, and I understand the value of tracking back, bro. I really do. But like I've often like I started saying like in jokingly manner, Ethan Maneri doesn't have a place in the squad because he attacks too much. Because he's been criticized for stuff that he doesn't do off the ball. So when people discuss Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, I think last season everybody wanted Rodrigo over Eze. I'm not sold on Rodrigo. Just saying that right now, but people generally
Well, he's
look
out for a while, so I hope we don't get him.
Yeah, and people were like, well, we got him over a left winger. I don't think Kvaratskhelia is going to be taken on and dribbling 5 out of 5 times in the league. I think he does that once. He loses the ball, and Mikel Arteta is just given an absolute fucking dog abuse.
So, okay, I'm feeling one of you. I'm shocked you said this. I thought Tanner says. So then answer me this. Why is Max Damon playing? And why is he getting minutes?
What was the last thing?
Is he playing or why
Yeah,
is he
why
not?
is he getting minutes? He's 16 years old.
What was that thing that we were saying a few weeks ago, Tanner? Necessity is the
mother of invention.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yep.
I don't think he's playing him. He's playing him because we have Madueke, and then we have Dauman. That's essentially. I don't think Dauman is playing. If Saka was fit, Madueke was fit. Do you believe that Max Dauman would be playing this outrageous amount of games? I generally don't.
I think if it was me,
we'll never know, of course, right, Ryan? This is literally just a conversation that we're having. But literally, if we recall all those Phil Good years ago, when the Hail End came through, and we had Phil Good vibes of like Nelson, Emil Smith Rowe, Saka. I think there was like conversation with, is he going to last the season? And then he starts playing the kids out of absolute necessity, and they start performing. And it was like a welcome surprise. And Miles Lewis-Skelly got his debut because we had so many fucking injuries in the left back. Now we don't have that many injuries. He's not playing. So I'm not part of the like club that says, oh my God, he hates youth players, because you always get those like super hyperbolic people. But I do think that I'm at a point with Mikel right now that like bring him a shiny toy, and I'm not entirely sure, like whatever version of, we saw it with Gyökeres, he's a shadow of what he was. We saw it with Eze, he's a shadow of what he was. And you could say league, there's always a conversation, right, Ryan? Like I think generally the only player that we've purchased that hasn't gone down a notch has been Declan Rice, right? But Declan Rice is Declan Rice. But offensively, he hasn't bought a whole lot, but like Gabriel Jesus, I'm sure he was good at one point in time. I can't fucking remember. Martinelli had that one standout season that's proven to be more the outlier than his actual level, where he hit like 16 goals or some shit. He had a really good season, right? But that seems to very much be the outlier, is all I'm saying. So we could keep on throwing money at it, but like, fuck, Ryan, let's say we throw 80 mil, 100 mil at insert left back of your dreams here, and we're still playing kind of the dog shit football that we're playing, my brother in Christ, you're going to have to join the club, my friend, because you're going to have to at least semi-admit that it might be a little bit tactical. I think there's a lot of strong indicators right now that indicate to us that if you're not good off the ball, you're dead to him on the ball. Like means nothing to him that you could come in and take a shot.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I get what you're saying. I think I don't want to use the word dramatic, but
Ryan, can I make one comment just real quick?
Yeah.
To that point is that, and Mike, what you just said, if you're no good off the ball, you're dead to him. The funny thing is, nobody off the ball moves. And when they do, they look like they're skating in quicksand. They don't move. Every time they get the ball, Their back is to goal. Now they have to get the ball. They have to turn. There's nobody running onto the ball. There's no progressive passing in this team. So I'm not disagreeing at all with what you're saying. It's ironic that you say it, and I agree with it. It's ironic because nobody off the ball really does anything. Very, very rarely do we. And when we see it, it works. Let's go back a week to, and sorry, Ryan, I don't mean to bogart your time here. Just bear with me. Go back a week to Sporting and the throw in from Martinelli, or Martinelli gets the ball and plays Kai in, and it fucking worked. Kai made a run. Martinelli made a move. Kai made a run. Martinelli found him. Boom, ball in the back of the net. Like, so when it happens, it works. The problem is it happens so infrequently. Off the ball, out of possession, we're decent. Except for when there's no effort, because out of possession,
But you said we
off the ball,
anything out of possession. I don't get it. I'm confused.
if we're defending. So
you're saying offensively we don't do anything off the ball.
I don't see a lot of movement, and the movement that I do see is very lethargic. It's very static.
Well, and this is where I will start to agree with you. I think the reason why there's a movement is because we're passing the ball back and forth in our own third, and I think that's a big issue. Like if I'm playing, if I'm Martinelli, if I'm Saka, if I'm Nane, and Saliba and Magalhaes and Raya are having a pass back and forth in Zubimendi, why would I run? Why would I make cuts and moves if they're just going to be working the ball between themselves?
Had the second most passes of any Arsenal player on Sunday. I am dying to put this out there, and I'm going to say it. And somebody jump in if you've got a comment. If you want to,
go. I'm going to jump in. Go say it.
No. Tony, I don't know this guy.
Ramsdale was better. There, I said it.
What'd you say?
Wait, I missed it. What'd you say? Was better.
Ramsdale was better. There, I said.
This has the Raya thing triggered this, but this is not anything about. It's not a knock on David Raya at all. I don't know who this guy is. I don't profess to listen to Talk Sport a lot, but his name is Tony Cascarino, and he was on Talk Sport yesterday at some point. And I tweeted this out yesterday. This is Tony Cascarino, quote, "They're willing to take risks in their own half, Arsenal, but they're not prepared to take risks in the opposition's box." And at the very end of this, I took that because that encapsulates what I'm thinking. But then at the very end, he's like, "Flip it. Yeah. Flip it. These passes at the back from Raya and Zubimendi. What are we doing? What are we doing?" Now, that being said, this will be the last thing I say on it, and I'll let the two of you go. Any pass in your own end that close to goal, when we are that close to our own goal, any pass is a risky pass. So I will say maybe there's a very small pinch of salt you need to take that statement with. But the premise of it and the idea behind it is not wrong. We are completely unwilling. We are completely risk averse in the attacking end. But yet, Raya will make these passes where you're like, what are you doing? Zubimendi will make a pass. What are you doing? Zubimendi is at a point now where we're passing him the ball, and he's literally, nope, I don't know. Right back. He sends it right back from whence it came. Yeah, but it's
there was one in particular, Tanner, where I think it was Zubimendi running back. Raya passes it, and he has like three defenders or three players on his ass, and like I think it was Zubimendi just scoops it onto his left or right of the field, and I was like, that was fucking ballsy. We're not exactly dominating this game. That's an interesting thing that you do, but yeah, I've said this in the past. He's a little bit of a basketball coach. He plays the percentages, and he feels just confident that in the back, teams aren't going to overcommit. They can't catch them on the break, defensively recovered. And I generally think that he tries to, or he tells or instructs our attacking players to play conservative, because the last thing he wants to do is lose the ball because he's afraid of a counterattack. That's just how it feels to me. I mean, again, a lot of guys, how many times do we say this, right? where supporters were speculating. Like today, the Norway, I don't know if it was a recycled comment, but I saw a quote from the Norway manager floating around saying he's been told it's not an injury, it's something else for Odegaard. This has happened in past seasons. That's an international, like that's his manager saying this. And of course somebody said why does he keep on saying it? I'm pretty sure the media is asking him questions, right? That's what they do. It's kind of like I made the Ramsdale joke, but the fact that like who's the fuckface from Villa that left us? Emi Martinez. It's kind of like when he left, it seemed like he spoke about us for like a year and a half. It's because
he still speaks about us.
Every 9 times out of 10, it becomes a. So, do you think you would have won the World Cup if you were at Arsenal? Do you think you gave a chance if you were at Arsenal? So naturally, I don't think he like out of context brings up Arsenal. I think people ask him a lot of questions, but that comment from the Norway guy, holy shit, bro. I mean, is he busy changing diapers? I mean, if it's not is it just mental? I don't know.
I mean, if that's true, it's true, which I don't think it is, but if it's true, he wouldn't be the captain. Because Mikel Arteta has, and we've seen it, he has no problem stripping the captaincy off players. So if what you're saying is true, he's not our captain. So that's why I personally don't believe that that's a thing. And then just real quick to what Tanner was saying, how flip it. And again, this is I think where we're all going to disagree, and that's fine. And the chat's going to disagree with me. You guys disagree with me, and I'm just going to say my piece, and that's it. I don't think that's an Arteta thing. I think we're comfortable to back because I think we are scared. We're nervous. We're not sure what to do, and it's just the easy thing to do. I don't think this is Arteta's tactics. I don't think Raya having the second most passes is in Arteta's playbook. I don't think Saliba and Gabriel being the players that are advancing the ball the most on this team is Arteta's tactics. It's the players. I think they're nervous, they're scared, and I think our best info. And I mean, think of it this way: when I mean, for me at least, playing the sport for as long as I have, I've been on so many different teams, played with so many different players. But when you put your team out there and you're playing with your 10 on the field players, you kind of know who your best player is. And knowing who your best player is, you kind of like build around them, you play around them, you let them kind of dictate the tempo, the gameplay, you pass them the ball a lot. And I think we're starting to see that with us in the fact that like who are our informed players right now? You would say Declan Rice, yeah. I don't know if I would say that, but I think he's our best player. Like he's the most consistent player, but I don't know if I would say he's in form right now for us.
I don't think there are any Arsenal players that are in.
I think he does a job, but I think first, I mean, this is a hot take. Well, it's not a hot take probably here, but I don't think Zubimeni and Rice work together. Not to say that they can't work together in future seasons.
Mike, he finally came around on it. He finally came around on it.
I mean, I've always said that. I still think Zubimeni's a good player.
Never said. I've never heard you say that.
I don't think they work together in the fact that like we need to be more attacking, and I don't think they offer us enough in attack. But anyways, I think our best informed players are probably Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. So we're gonna naturally attract to them, and even David Raya, who is probably our player of the season. So we're going to naturally gravitate toward them, go to them, whether it's, on purpose or subconsciously, the players are going to look towards them because they are the best players on the pitch at a given time. So, and I think that's what leads to us, kind of playing really far back. And it's tough. And especially, you look at the Bournemouth game, Bournemouth are a very pressy team. So I knew this was going to be a problem. They love to press. So what they do? They singled out the one player who, funny enough, needed to be consoling you after the game, who has made really questionable decisions. Really questionable decisions in the last, I would say, month. I still think he's a great player. I think he's just playing way too much. I think he needs to, this is the most he's ever played in the season. So, I don't think it's anything to do with him not knowing his role. I think he knows his role. I think it's just he's playing too much. He's playing too hard, too fast. And I just think him and Declan Rice, just for what we want to accomplish and what we want to do on the grandest of stages, and even against like a Southampton or a Bournemouth, who theoretically we should be beating, we need more attack, and they don't really, I don't think, offer it to us unless it's a Declan Rice corner or a Declan Rice free kick. But yeah, they they isolated Zubimendi and they pressed him 2, 3 guys. They were all over him. They saw him as our weak point, which I don't think he's been our worst player, but I think he's a weak point in the team, especially last month, just based on pressing and all that good stuff. Yeah, they press the shit out of him, and them pressing, they did a good job of it, obviously. But on top of that, we couldn't do what we do best, and that's the counter press. We can't counter press, and we love to counter press, and we're very good at it. And we do it. And the way we score most of our goals that aren't set pieces is we counter press, we win the ball in their third, the team's third, and we go bing, bang, boom, good, done, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And that this season, we have not done that. I think teams are getting a little wise to us. I think teams are pressing us more. But I think it's a mix. I think also we're also losing the ball in the middle half or our third, middle third. But yeah, I think that's also a really big issue. And I think kind of going back to what you were saying, Tanner, about like, oh, our defense is terrible, we're open up. I don't think that's the case. I think we're just losing the ball in not so good areas. I still don't think teams are really making us pay for it like they should. Because let's face it, you talk about how, we're not counter pressing, we're losing the ball in bad places. Something that I've heard people say, and I agree with. I think we've been very sloppy with the ball, passing it, holding on to it. We've been doing that a lot lately, and that completely dictates what we do. We can't do tempo, we can't do pace, we can't counter press in the final third to win the ball, and therefore the teams are in our final third a lot. But I still don't think they're doing a lot with it because, like I just said, this is our best defensive season. Again, according to average goals conceded in the season, we're at 0.75. So I think it's pretty good considering the shit we're kind of putting ourselves in.
I think
But my ending point is Zubimendi needs to kind of take a seat, and I think we need to, in my opinion, probably Eze, Odegaard, Rice. We need to do something. And this is another thing, and another thing that I'm going to be done. What Arsenal Vision talked about, and I don't know if it was Clive or Elliot said it. What would make Arteta a good manager, and I think maybe not change you guys' opinions, but people's opinions, is he needs to take a risk because we're not playing well. We have City coming, and if City beat us, it's all but over. I'll say that. The Sporting were only up 1-0. He needs to make a change. He needs to do something bold if he wants to turn the season around. I want to say our form is going to change and we'll revert back to the reason why we're top of the league. I can't. It could go either way, to be honest. But he needs to do something bold, and I don't know if taking Zubimendi out is bold. I think it's bold for him. I think it's bold for the team. I don't know if it's bold to us because we've been, Zubimendi hasn't been playing well. But we definitely, he needs to do something really bold and not necessarily change tactics, but just change in a way tactics, but just change the fact that I think maybe Rice plays, maybe the 6 a little more, maybe still an advanced role, but we have more of an attacking presence because we don't have an attacking presence. And again, we need a higher ceiling. We don't have that. We have a higher floor, and yeah, cool. That's great. But, with players getting injured and teams, the players not meshing and no one really being like, who do you like? I guess my final question for now, and unless we talk about something else, but would be, who do you guys think our best attacker is right now on form? And I know you guys won't agree with me. I think it's probably Gyökeres. Problem is, I don't think he fits the tactics. I don't think he fits the system. So the fact that he's our best attacker right now is not good.
Well, this will lead into us talking, and this is where we're going to end the show. But this leads into talking about, okay, so yeah, what does he do for Wednesday? What does he do for Sunday? Because I agree, and yes, that it came from Arsenal Vision that he has to make a bold decision here. Zubimendi can't. I will say this: If Zubamendi starts either one of the next 2 games, I'm fully Arteta out.
The issue here is like
be,
we don't need to score against Sporting. So like I wouldn't be upset if Zubamendi starts.
Zubamendi can't start. Here's why Zubamendi can't start for me. Number one, and you made and the points that you made were good in that he has played more minutes this season than he's ever played in his career, and that's a very good point. But
he was the most minutes in the Premier League.
He's also incredibly out of form. He needs a break. I probably wouldn't even give him a shirt. Now, there may not be an option because of injury, but if I could put together a bench and not include him in it and feel comfortable with that bench, I wouldn't give him a shirt for the next 2 games. That's just me. But if he starts either one of these next 2 matches, you can consider me Arteta out no matter what, because that will just say to me that he doesn't have the stones to make a bold decision when he knows what the problem is, at least in that specific instance. Okay. Zubamendi cannot play these next 2 games. If you're going to bring him on as a sub at 70 or 75 minutes on Wednesday and we're winning 2 or 3-0, fine. I don't have a problem with, but he can't start. And if he starts,
the only reason why I disagree with you is because technically, and I don't like saying this, and I don't necessarily agree with this, we don't have to score in our next 2 games. We could tie 0-0 against City, and we could tie 0-0 against Sporting. Mike, no, but yeah, and I think that furthers your point, Tanner. Of he has no stones, he's a coward. But like, as far as results are concerned, as far as us winning trophies,
I fucking love you.
Yeah, but like we don't need to score. But with that being said,
fucking nuts.
Okay.
I'm not saying Timber Mosqueda.
Listen. You guys don't listen to me. I'm not saying I want to draw 0-0.
You're not listening to me.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
But theoretically, if we tie 0-0 in the next 2 games, but again, no, I agree with what you're saying. I don't want to play Zubamendi. Problem is, if we test something out against Sporting, being only up 1-0, and it doesn't work, we're out of the Champions League. If we test something against City and it doesn't work, then we're fucked. And again, what we're doing now isn't working. But technically what we're doing now is the reason why we're in first. We're just playing bad. Technically, I'm saying. Whether you agree or disagree, we're here. We're here. We're top of the league. And the team's changed a little bit, but only because of injuries. So, yeah. But I agree with you, but I think Arteta would not agree with you, which is, I guess, I don't know. Topic for another day.
Just going to say the counterpoint to the midfielders of Zubamendi not starting, as is not fit. Merino has a broken foot. Odegaard puss hurts, and Ethan was shipped out because he shot too much. So I think Zubamendi is going to play.
You really are on this Ethan bandwagon. That's crazy. He was so bad. He was not good when he was in our team, and I think people forget he wasn't good. He was good in tight spaces every now and then, but overall, he did not have good games for
Arsenal. Boy, oh boy, what on earth does this team need? Somebody that operates in a tight space.
But overall, he was not good enough. So we'll send him out on loan
because he shot too much,
because he shot too much, and he did it because Eze shoots more than anyone, and he's still in the team. And it's funny because we loaned him out to a team in France who are like okay, but the French league is shit, so they're okay. And he can't even get game time there. And you're playing behind Mason Greenwood, who is like their best player. Oh, Mason Greenwood's hurt. Oh yeah, he still can't even make a substitute appearance. So I mean, I don't like. So who's right? Who's wrong here? He's obviously not good enough to even get into Marseille. So what makes you think? Oh, we really need Ethan to come into our team and win the league and win the Champions League for us, because he would really be the best attacker we have currently. That's like a crazy state. That's and
first and foremost, you're doing the thing that you accuse us of doing. I didn't say we were going to win the league and the Champions League. No,
I didn't say that. I didn't say you said that. I didn't say you said
that. I was simply saying having the option would be nice. Right now, we have no.
But he wasn't. But when he played for us, he wasn't a good option. Is my point. I guess you're right. I did dramatize it, but when he was on the pitch for us, he was not good enough.
I'm generally, again,
He had a
you
couple
and I,
Saka-esque goals, but that was it. That was the
you and I
best.
have this conversation offline, and again, you're saying no, so I'll take you for face value on that one. But I'm old enough to remember, me personally, it was last season, I believe, last summer, I was upset that Waneri was the backup to Odegaard, and I thought that a club wanting to do what Arsenal wanted to do should not have their backup be a 17-year-old at that time. And now that I've seen him play a few times and say, well, he has that type of it thing where he could create a shot. And that's all I'm asking, for somebody that could create a shot. And I do feel, and this is, again, just based on feelings that I have with Mikel Arteta, where I'm literally, I always, as I like to say it, and it's very hyperbolic, prime Messi doesn't have a spot for him. He would Ronaldinho would be fucking, he would be dead to Mikel Arteta because he doesn't track back. That is just generally the feeling that I get. So maybe that's why I feel a little bit for Ethan, because I don't feel like he got the fair shake that he could have potentially got, just because I feel like he created a lot of things, and I've always been of the mindset, Ryan, as I know that you said that he's not playing in Marseille, but one player in one system in one area doesn't mean you pluck him and take him into a shittier team. Like, I'm sure Spurs have some salvageable players that you could put in a different team and they would play better, right? Not every single Spurs player is the worst player in the league or bottom three of the league. They have salvageable players, but the situation that they're in is kind of shit.
Yeah, but if he's good enough, he should be playing. Like, no?
What you're talking about, Ethan Waneri?
Yeah, if he's good enough, he should be able to get into the
Well,
Marseille
in
team.
Marseille, yeah, I really don't know what's going on over there. I only have speculative way of thinking of why he didn't play for Arsenal. But yeah, to your point, with that said, with your logic, applying your logic, he should be playing more with Marseille. I think he stopped playing as much after he missed out on that one penalty that cost him like a cup or semifinal. I forgot what it was, but he missed the penalty.
He kind of stopped playing when what's his name left. The see you next Tuesday. Is Deserby?
Yeah. But well, that's another thing, right? The manager that wanted him there to begin with, ends up leaving. So that's a contrast. But are we prepared to see like Kai Havertz in midfield again? And this pains me, but it's not going to be
Zubimendi, yeah.
It's not going to be. Well, I'm just saying it's not going to be Gyökeres, as if we don't fully know the fitness level. And I think how many minutes, whether as he starts or doesn't start, is a bit indicator of what we could maybe expect for Sunday. But on current fitness, based on the little bit that we reread online and whatnot, I think the midfield might be Declan Rice, Zubimendi, and Eza playing at 10. And Kai Havertz, excuse me, Eza is going to be coming in. I would, if we can, if you guys don't mind, like to see Norgard play a game of football.
Yeah, right.
And I think I think Zubimendi getting a little bit of a rest or just pulling him out of the limelight. Like every once in a while in basketball games, somebody's like shooting, he's not hitting the hoop. You just sit him out a little bit, just get him out of the limelight for a little bit. I think just get Zubimendi out of the limelight a little bit. He's playing. I think a good mate of mine put the minutes in another group chat that I'm in, and I think he's at the minutes right now that he has played in the last 2 seasons in Real Sociedad. But obviously the intensity of the league is another thing. And he's already at 5 extra games this season, I believe, than his Real Sociedad game. So, man, we're having these troubles right now, guys. After the World Cup, in which I'm fully expecting all the players that were absent for 5-6 months this season to play every single fucking minute in the World Cup. Pet peeve of mine, as you guys know. They're going to come back fucking knackered. They're retiring next season for the Arsenal. We're just going to pay them just to rehabilitate after what they do to themselves for the World Cup. So I digress on that point, as you guys know. But Yeah, I think we see Kai Havertz start, and unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see it as a striker. I think we're going to see him in midfield. I don't know. What do you guys say? Any chance whatsoever that Gyökeres doesn't see the starting lineup in these next 2 games?
It's tough because he didn't play well against Sporting, and I think he's been playing well. Well is like a pretty. I think he's been our best attacker the last couple weeks, maybe month. But he didn't play well against Sporting, so I don't know. But I what I do know is I want to see Declan and then 2 of these 3 players as a Odegaard, Havertz. Probably if I had to pick, I would probably say Odegaard. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. What I really want to see us do is I want us to attack the wings because I think Manueka was finding success attacking the wings. I think our issue was what was his name? Araújo. He fouled him 8 times and didn't get a single card. So I don't think that happens again. So I think we put that player, and that player, funny enough, had a lot of success going forward for them. He started a lot of their attacks. Good for him, but easier to do when you're not in a yellow card. You can kind of have the freedom, have the confidence to kind of do whatever you want. So I think we attack their wings, and I think we're going to have success. But I do think Zubimendi needs to sit down. The Gyökeres thing is tough because I want him to play because I think he's the most informed attacker we have. But yeah, him not playing well against his former club was definitely a little troubling to see.
As far as the midfield goes, you guys are both going to laugh at me for this, and the entire chat will laugh at me for this, and I get it, and it's fine. I'm quite all right with it. If Eza can play, he starts beside Kai as the 2 8s or 2 10s, whatever you want to call it, and you put Declan at the 6, and now you at least have attackers. At least now you can say, well, we've got 5 attackers up there.
Why would we laugh at that? I said the same thing.
Thought you said no. You said Odegaard, didn't you?
No, I said Odegaard would sit. I said Odegaard would sit. I said you
got
to play 2.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah, you have to play. In my opinion, you have to play.
If Odegaard is healthy, look. If Odegaard is healthy, if he is, or either way, physically or mentally,
according to Mike, he's not healthy.
Well, if
Mike is my source.
The injury does
the quotes I read.
If Odegaard is able to play, then it's Eza, Odegaard, and Rice, and I'd start Kai at the 9. I would sit Gyökeres. I don't know what to do on the wings because Madueke and Martinelli are the same person on opposite sides of the pitch. They just run the ball to the touchline and then just keep running. If there were a tunnel behind the goal, I'm fairly certain that they would just run into the tunnel. But as far as midfield goes, that's what I would do in the midfield. And if Odegaard can't play, then it's Kai and Eza in the midfield. I'm just not starting Zubimendi. I'm just because I've said it for he and Rice don't work together. They just don't. At least with the tactics that Arteta has, and he wants it doesn't work. So he's got to do something different. And I don't know what he does because Declan Rice is at his best when he's playing in that number 6 role. That's where he's the best. That's where he's the best version of himself.
I don't agree only because I just think he's an engine. I don't think it's necessarily a 6 sitting back for us. I just think he's an engine. I agree with that.
He's not a traditional 6.
He's like a vacuum. He just cleans everything up. Yep. And he has a good free kick. He has a good corner. And he could just do a little bit of everything. But yeah, so I don't need him as a 6. He could play left 8. It's just
I disagree with that.
You don't think he's a good left 8 for us?
No, I don't. I just don't. I don't.
Since we signed him, he's probably been our best player, and he's only played left 8. So then, how does that work?
I couldn't disagree with that more.
Disagree with what? That he hasn't played left 8?
I think it's more. It's always been more of a double pivot with him and he who shall not be named. Who
Yeah,
now all of a
and
sudden
an
everybody
eight's
wants back, or
an eight's a
Zubamente.
pivot. A left eight, a
Well,
left eight. We have a left
he
eight, and we
just
have a right
doesn't seem.
pivot.
He doesn't play the 8 the same way that Odegaard or Eza play that role. He plays
Well,
deeper.
I mean, they're more tens. So,
They're more
yeah.
right, but maybe
He
maybe I'm
plays-
splitting hairs with you.
He plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he on the pitch he's there, but the manner in which he plays very six-ish. I think
because I think he knows what he can do and what he can't do, and I think
it's kind of like when Eza played left wing. He played there, but that's not his position, so he naturally drifted a little bit back. He naturally drifted a little bit towards the middle. So like positionally, we placed these players on the field. You know, like Miles Lewis Skelly, Calafiori. You know, on paper he's a left back, but he's a midfielder, and you know it just kind of ends up playing that way a little bit. But I think a lot of independently of what you think about Zubimendi, I think a lot of people would like to see Declan Rice or Zubimendi at the base and the 210s. And I have piss poor memory, guys, so I don't want to say this is the only time. But I want to say it was like one home game in which he started Eza on the left and Odegaard on the right. And then like one of them, Odegaard's puss again, he went out injured again, his arm or some shit. Again, he's going to play every single fucking minute in the World Cup, and it's going to drive me crazy. It just, such a pet peeve of mine. But I think that was like literally the only time I can remember, dude. And like literally, and every time I see both Zubimendi and Declan Rice, I just think it's such a conservative lineup. Like I can't shake it. And I'm aware that Declan Rice progresses the ball more than a lot of the other players in our team. I'm aware that he shoots a lot from the out. Like he almost made it 2-1, right? He pulled it was like a really nice shot shortly before they scored their 2-1. Like he tries, but he's just a different player. One little thing I will say is I want to say Kai Havertz and Ben White do two really nice through balls. And the Kai Havertz one, I believe, was intercepted, and Ben White one was offside. Gyökeres continued running. He went through the motions, scored, but I think he knew he was off. I will say, like, somebody, like, I saw some criticism, like, oh my God, this is my problem. Like he made this through ball and it was intercepted. And I'm like, I would kill for more of that. The amount of Gyökeres is going to finish the season with 25 goals or some shit. And I'm going to still think he's a bad footballer somehow, because technically he's just, I like to say he's not aesthetically pleasing on the eye. That I kind of made the comment that
you know how much you like to watch aesthetically pleasing things, Mike.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Like I said, he's more of a like Drogba on the ball than like Henry, right? He's not that graceful striker, and aesthetically, it's difficult to look at him and rate him, because like large parts of his game is just pass the ball to the brute and let him kick the ball in the net, and because of that, he spends a lot of time, I guess, out of the limelight. The one game I could remember where he was like super involved and I was like, holy shit, he arrived. He went out injured versus Burnley, I think it was. And then after that, he kind of regressed into form. But he does have one superpower, and I think Charles mentioned this. Charles 87, Victor has to be the man. It's okay. Oh, somebody commented and I lost it. It's okay that he has a poor touch. It's compensated by some phenomenal finishing. That's what he said. It was Charles. And yeah, that's a superpower. That's why literally, bro, if there's a penalty in the 99th minute of the Champions League final, let fucking Gyökeres kick that shit, because he does one thing very fucking good. Two things technically. Strike the ball with pace and aim. He's really fucking good at it, so you might as well use him to his strengths. So interesting. But yeah, I don't see him getting dropped. I don't see Zubimendi. Some variation of Zubimendi, Declan Rice, and Norgard not playing in the remaining fixtures of our season. That's my I wouldn't call it a hot take, but I just don't see it. I don't see us setting up at the head-to-head and saying we're going to attack them like crazy. And just a little thing, and this is just me super nitpicking at the Sunday game. When we lost the League Cup and then followed up with getting knocked out of the FA Cup, I saw a lot of comments about, oh, glad we don't have to play them this many times. Glad we don't have to play them this many times. To me, nothing admits more of a little bro vibe than not wanting to play a team. If we drew versus Chelsea and we're like, oh my god, we get to play Chelsea 2 more times this season, fuck yeah. Let's play that Chelsea. We know we're better than them. Nothing screams insecurity more than consistently looking at a silver lining of not being in 2 cup competitions as, well, on the bright side, we don't have to play them again. And you look at the City players after the game and say, all right, Arsenal's neck, that's a big game for us. Like, they're fucking genuinely up for it. And I feel, at least on the vibes that I get from our players, they're not relishing the challenge as much as I would like our team to relish the challenge. Speculative, guys. I'm just fucking, I'm a million miles away.
I was ready to jump in your throat. I was like, how do you know this?
Yeah, no, I'm a million miles away. It's just, but when I see Zubimendi looking like he's going to cry in the middle of the game, having his teammates try to pick him up and like morally get him to go, that to me screams like defeated. Like he feels defeated in that sense. So again, million miles away, bro. So that's where kind of where I'm at. But yeah, 2 fucking season defining games, guys. It's fucking amazing. It's crazy that the vibe change if we walk away with 2 wins or 2 draws. It's amazing how much of a difference it would make for
not to everybody, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I generally think that like if we walk away not getting smoked like 3-0, I think there'd be more people with more optimism that we walk the league. I think right now the fear is they're going to demolish us. I think it's a genuine fear that's, and not only for the fan base, but
that's a fear in any game you play
for the team. No, again,
you mean a possibility, not a.
If we again, dude, if we were visiting Stamford Bridge, I don't think they would.
I would always have a fear of losing 5-0 to anybody.
I don't generally, huh? So see, I don't.
Well, okay. So I guess I'll give a little contest. When I first met my now wife's extended family, I forget what year. I think it was 2014. We played Southampton, and they were bad. And I was like, okay, cool. I can't watch the game, but I'll get updates. Like, we're gonna win, like, whatever. They beat us 4-0. We got wrecked. I was like, and meanwhile, I had to sit there and be like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, and be like this, like, lovey-dovey boyfriend. And I'm sitting there, like, miserable because Arsenal lost 4-0 to Southampton. So, like, I mean, there's always a fear of getting walked out of the stadium, or walked on the pitch. Is it a possibility? That's to me, that's a different argument. That's a different story. I don't know. So there's two things here. I don't think City are going to manhandle us the way they manhandled us in the League Cup. But would I be surprised if they do? No, I wouldn't be.
Interesting. Excuse me. Let's do final thoughts, and I'll let you guys just get it all off your chest. Just go. Ryan, I'll start with you.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely not where people thought I would be. I'm definitely not happy, but I ain't dead yet. We ain't dead yet. We got to top of the league this season for a reason. And I'm not saying we're playing that football. We're not. We're not playing good. This isn't good enough what we're doing. It's not good. But we got here for a reason. So the fact that our form suddenly changed from only losing 3 games all season to now we lost the last 3 out of the 4. Why can't it just turn around? Why can't it go back? We took a dip in form real quick, so why can't we dip back up? So I'm obviously a little more optimistic than you two. Now, will it happen? That's obviously remains to be seen. Um, but I'm always excited to watch Arsenal play. And the one thing I will say is every game this season, is it a pretty watch? No. Do I have to kind of clench my butt a little bit? Yeah. But I would rather but I've been excited to watch. I've been excited, like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Arsenal on. Yes, I'm excited. I get to watch the team. Was I like this 5-6 seasons ago when I had a back line of Socrates, Mustafi, David Luiz, Anthony Maitland-Niles? No.
World Cup winner.
Lucky, yeah, funny. Luckily, I was podcasting, so it was a little better. Shout out Ars Bros, and we were making dick and sex jokes, so it made it a little bit better. But if I wasn't podcasting with those guys, it felt like a chore sometimes. This doesn't feel like a chore. I know Mike will disagree with me, but I genuinely am excited to watch us play, even though we have this dip of form. And my last point is to kind of poo-poo everything I just said. Anthony Taylor is our referee on Sunday, and he is from Manchester, and we have only won 2 of the last 9 games he has ref for us. So, yeah, have fun, everybody. I'm excited for Sunday, or I'm excited for fucking Wednesday too.
So you're saying that we're due?
Yeah. And and John Brooks on VAR, so I'm excited. Can you see it in my
Paul
face?
Tierney guy is on VAR too, or he's the assistant.
Oh, really? That's funny.
It's like the fucking Avengers that came out to beat us.
Mike, go ahead. Final thought. Anything you want to say? Just get it all out there.
No, man, I made a lot of the points. Live chat, you have absolutely been awesome. Stan, thank you. BX, Charles, you guys were in there. Gary from the DWDT, TT came through and said hi to us. You guys have been awesome. But no, I think I got most of my feels off my chest, and I will remain forever foolishly optimistic that good things will happen. I'm now in my 23rd, 22nd season of This Is the Year. So, I'm as that meme says, I'm fully prepared and ready to be hurt. So let's go.
Yeah, I don't really have much else left. I could probably go for another hour if I just started talking. A lot of things tactically that just here again lead me to just not really having a lot of faith in how things are going to go. I'm still going to watch. I still support, and I'm still hopeful. And it's the hope that kills you, as they say. I will absolutely watch with bated breath on Wednesday, because if we can earn the overall win, whether it be just a draw, if we can actually win the game, which would be nice, I will be at the home leg for the semifinal in London. So I would very much like to see us go through. As far as Sunday goes, I just hope against hope, and if Arteta can figure out a different game plan, a different tactic that surprises Pep, that he's not ready for, if he's got something up his sleeve, now would be the time to bring it out. I'm certainly nowhere near as optimistic as I think other folks are, but that's just where I'm at. I've been watching this rerun for 5 months now, and the only joy I'm taking in this is that I've been talking about it for 5 months, and that's not even me taking joy in it. It's I am taking no joy in any of this at all. I will tell you that I have been pretty low as a sports fan in my life in certain instances, and Saturday might be Saturday might be one of the lowest moments I've had as a sports fan. I just feel like everything I've thought just kind of came to a head on Saturday. But we go again on Wednesday. Here's to hope. Gentlemen, I thank the both of you from the bottom of my heart for this. I think we needed this. It's, as I titled the show, Catharsis. It has been very cathartic to do this, and it's always a pleasure to chat with the two of you. As Mike already shouted out the chat, but I'll do it again. Thank you, everybody who's been in there commenting. Charles BX, Mikey Hers is pulling double duty, being on the show and being in the chat, multitasking like a maniac. Stan the man was in there. Stan, it's always a pleasure to see and have you, being a part of this. I don't know that I missed anybody. I hope I didn't as far as the interactions go. Miss Molina was there at the beginning. Hopefully she's still around, but if not, catch her on the replay. Thank you, everybody watching on Twitter X for being there. And if you made it this far, thank you very much. Share the video from YouTube if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. Click the bell icon so that you don't ever miss an episode, because we are pretty sporadic here and there. We just randomly decide that we're going to do it. No, that's not at all true. We have lives. We live them. And when we can do this, we do it. And it's fun. And it is cathartic, especially right now. Yeah. So that's all I got. It's been good footy talk. We'll see you out there.